doesn't crash. I'm really excited for this. Really excited. Hey guys, good evening everybody. Welcome back to the channel United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. Hope you all have a fantastic Friday evening. Hope you've all had a good day. Hope you've all had a good week. I hope you're all looking forward to the first official weekend in September 2024 this year. First of all, do me a massive favour for me. Hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button if you are new to the channel, United Red Devils 20. Share the video, hit the tweet button, hit the retweet button. Remember to always put the notification bell on all times so you receive dedicated and upcoming content right throughout the rest of 2024 this year on United Red Devils 20. We've got plenty of news and transfer news to discuss on this live stream regarding a certain player who was signed for Manchester United this evening. Everybody knows who I'm talking about. We've got plenty of new gaming content and plenty of brand new video shorts and live streams planned for all of you amazing people right throughout the rest of 2024 this year on the channel. But it's transfer deadline day, and it wouldn't be deadline day without a big name signing for Manchester United. Manchester United, the midfielder that we have been chasing for 2 months and over 12 days, is finally a Manchester United player. And you know who I'm talking about. Manuel Ugarte is finally a Manchester United player, which has probably been the longest saga since Frenkie de Jong, which has been the longest transfer saga since Adrien Rabiot, who Rabiot could still become a Man United player because we can sign him on a free transfer. But I think the longest saga of all has been this Ugarte deal with Manchester United and PSG. And we finally have our man. We finally have the player we wanted, and we finally have that midfield maestro that Manchester United have been desperately trying to sign all summer long on this summer transfer window on deadline day. And the statement from Manchester United is pleased to confirm that Manuel Ugarte has joined the club, subject to registration. The Uruguay international has signed a contract until June 2029 with the option to extend for a further year. Last season, Ugarte, who is 23, won the league and cup double with PSG Paris Saint-Germain before playing every game at Copa America and being named in the team of the tournament, taking his tally of international caps to 23. Since the start of the 23-22 season, Ugarte has averaged the second highest number of tackles per 90 minutes in Europe's major leagues. Manuel Ugarte has said, "It is an incredible feeling to join a club of this magnitude, one that is admired all around the world. The project that the football leadership discussed with me is extremely exciting. Manchester United is an ambitious club, and I'm an ambitious player. The passion of supporters is something that is very important to me. I know how incredible Manchester United fans are, and I cannot wait to experience Old Trafford. I am someone who is so determined to succeed, and I will sacrifice and give everything for my teammates. Together, we will fight to win trophies and reach the level where this club needs to be." Dan Ashworth, who is Manchester United Football Club's sporting director, has said, "Signing Manuel was another of our primary targets for the summer. He is among the very best ball-winning midfielder players in the world and has an excellent record at both club and international level. His qualities, experience and passion will be a great complement to our strong group of midfielders. Manuel is a player what we've watched closely, and we're excited to see the positive impact he will make on the pitch and in the dressing room as we continue to strive for success." So, Ugarte is finally a Manchester United player. Like, I'm buzzing that we've got this done today. Obviously, it was a bit of squeaky bum time because obviously today is transfer deadline day. The window is now officially shut. It shut 18 minutes ago at 11 o'clock on this Friday evening. I'm just massively relieved that A, the transfer window is shut, B, we finally have Ugarte, and C, that we stop hearing all the rumours and all those fake blue tick people on Twitter who apparently have sources on certain players, certain journalists of certain players that Manchester United are trying to get. And a lot of them do need to be called out because we were told that certain players would be signing for the club today, and that hasn't happened, and Manchester United have been left very blue in the face by players that we were linked to haven't been able to join. Man United haven't been able to sign. And I think a lot of those people on Twitter have got a lot of apologies to give out in the next 24 hours. And we know who we're on about. There's a lot of fake sources out there that rip into you and make you believe complete and utter bullshit that Man United will have certain players at the club that haven't signed today. But the most important factor is Ugarte is a Manchester United player, a player that has got the ambition to be one of the best midfielders, not just in world football, but in European football as well. His international appearances speak for themselves. He's Uruguay's best player by an absolute mile. He controls that balance of that midfield with the CDM role that he plays for Uruguay. I think at PSG, I think they've let go of a very, very good player. We've obviously got the deal done for 60 million euros, which is about 50 million pounds in English sterling money here in the United Kingdom. And I think this is a signing that will take Manchester United to the very next level of where this midfield has been neglected for so many years until the arrival of Casemiro, who is our only CDM now, to be honest, because Ugarte unfortunately wasn't registered by 12 o'clock this afternoon. And Ugarte will not be able to feature for Manchester United this weekend, which is a bit of a bummer, really, because we could have done with that extra midfield reinforcement for the weekend's game against our arch rivals in Liverpool. So it's a bit disappointing that we haven't signed him in time, and I'm a bit frustrated of that. I'm very disappointed we didn't get the signing done at lunchtime, because we could have got other players in and we could have been working on other deals in and out the football club, and that simply hasn't happened. I don't think it's good enough. I don't think it's acceptable, and I think Man United, to make the fans wait till 9:30 this evening, is nothing more than a complete and utter joke. I don't know why we couldn't have announced this early on. I don't know why Ugarte wasn't signed this afternoon. Maybe there were issues. Maybe we had to wait for McTominay to be officially a Napoli player, which has obviously happened today. And obviously we've had to wait for that deal to go through to announce Ugarte, and that's probably why it was pushed back over 2 hours ago to get that official announcement of Ugarte being officially a Manchester United player now. And I'm really, really hoping this move works out, but I'm also hoping this will end the career of Casemiro at Manchester United. I think this sends a strong message to Eriksen, and I think this sends a very strong message to Mason Mount now, because I think now Ugarte's here, if it was me in their shoes, I would be bricking how the hell we're going to get back in that team, because no one's going to get in that team once Ugarte gets that spot where Casemiro is. No other player is going to get in that team, in that midfield, apart from Ugarte. And the problem is, it's positive that we've got Ugarte, but the only midfield options we have is Casemiro and Eriksen, who both will deserve to belong on the bench. But United should have tried to have got some deals done for these two in the last week of the transfer window. But unfortunately, it's because of the wages they're on. And I'm not very confident in those two options now being the backup for Ugarte, because we've paid big money for Ugarte here. He will demand first-team football, and I think Erik ten Hag has got to give him it, because this is going to transform our midfield. I mean, he's made the most tackles ever in Liga 1 history in 90 minutes for last season for PSG. That tells you a lot about the quality, world-class player that we are getting to transform that midfield. That midfield is going to go from here to up here. This is a player that is going to absolutely change Manchester United's midfield pattern forever. This is a midfielder that demands respect, and he demands quality around him to be able to do his job. And I'm hoping now that balance of that midfield becomes a lot more stable and a lot more controllable once Ugarte gets in that team, because I really wanted to see him play this weekend, and I'm gutted we haven't done it in time to register him. And again, that is on Manchester United. They should have really hurried this up, really. And I can't believe we've had to wait for McTominay. I mean, again, I can't believe the Man United fans who were sobbing and crying over that goodbye video to Scott McTominay. I mean, do you know what? It is the biggest load of bollocks sending a goodbye message to someone who has done absolutely fuck all for this football club. And you're sobbing over a video about McTominay leaving. He was never good enough. He was never going to take Man United to the next level. And you're putting out a sobbing video expecting United fans to absolutely get their box of tissues out and saying goodbye to him. I'm sorry, McTominay was never good enough. We needed an upgrade in that midfield. McTominay, I think, probably didn't want to go. But in the end, we needed better than Scott McTominay. If Man United would have found buyers for Casemiro and Eriksen, McTominay would still be here. I can't help that someone who's been so loyal to the club through the academy years, right to the first team, all of a sudden now thinks, I deserve a video of a goodbye message from the teammates and the staff and the players at this football club. I'm sorry. He's done nothing in his years at the club. Since his breakout through to the first team, he's done fuck all to help that midfield. Yes, he's put in a few goals here and there, but didn't Man United fans realise eventually this was going to be a problem that did need to be sorted ASAP? McTominay was the only sellable asset in that midfield. No one wanted Casemiro. No one wanted Eriksen. Get over it that McTominay is no longer here. I'm grateful he isn't here because he wasn't bloody good enough. So get over it. Stop crying about it and get on with it. Ugarte is the monster and the engineer and the beast that this midfield has been fucking crying out for, because Casemiro, after 1-2 seasons, was figured out by the Premier League, was figured out all by our rivals. He's slow, he's fragile, he's lethargic. He can't do a job 90 minutes now. And that has been a message that has been cried out for all season long so far. That midfield has had no improvement ever since. We haven't signed enough midfielders, if we're going to be honest. Ugarte alone really was not enough to fix this. It should have been Ugarte and another being brought in to fix this midfield. Ugarte isn't enough, but he's an ambitious player. And what I get from him by his body language and his commitment already, this is a player who I feel has been badly treated by PSG. I can't believe the way they have banished him from the first team training. I can't believe the way Luis Enrique, who was a great Barcelona manager, failed at Spain, went to PSG, who play in a fucking pub league full of pub teams that will never ever be able to compete with PSG at the highest level. And PSG have got the audacity to say, do you know what, Ugarte, we don't want you training with us. We don't want you here anymore. And after a year, they're fed up with him. Is that a bad sign or is that a good sign? Because they then quickly found a replacement in João Neves, who Manchester United, funny enough, really wanted. And I think what's happened here is, since PSG put that interest in for João Neves and Man United announced their interest in Ugarte, I think a pact happened here between both clubs. What I mean by that is, Man United told PSG, if you do us a deal on Ugarte, we'll leave you alone on João Neves and you can have him, but you have to let us have Ugarte. But this midfielder should have been in at the start of the season, not 3 games in, because we beat Fulham and we've already lost to Brighton. Another 3 points is expected to go on Sunday, because I do not think at this moment in time Manchester United are anywhere near strong enough with the squad depth to be able to take it to Liverpool on Sunday, because 2 out of 2 wins for Arne Slot so far. Man United are in exactly the same position as what they were in last season. A win, a defeat, and then it could be another defeat. So we're repeating last season's start, basically. Ugarte should have been brought in at the start of the season. I feel sorry for him because he's missed already nearly 3 Liga 1 games with PSG, has been nowhere near involved, and he's been training separately from the first team squad. That ain't fucking good enough from PSG. And I think PSG have also done this quite deliberately to make Man United wait as long as possible to get Ugarte, because they took the piss and they took ages to try and get the João Neves deal done. And it took ages. It took absolutely weeks for PSG to get João Neves in. And what they did, they played Manchester United right into their book. They made them wait, and made them wait. And once they got that João Neves deal agreed, they made us wait even longer to then get Ugarte. Ugarte, if he would have been brought in now, we would have won our first 2 games of this Premier League season. Ugarte is coming in, having to fix the midfield again. That should have been solved fucking 2 seasons ago. That's never been sorted. We shouldn't have signed Eriksen. We should have let McTominay go. Fred was let go. Casemiro should have never been brought, and Hannah Mabry should have been shown the door then. If Man United have got any ambition now, we now need to go and find another midfielder on the free transfer market. There's one contender to this because Ugarte is going to take this team up to the next level. I believe the ability and the skill and the world-class ability that he has got in that CDM role, that he's done so much for PSG. You watch him in on an international level for Uruguay, he's absolutely phenomenal. He puts in so many tackles. He controls that balance of that midfield. The CDM role, he makes it like it's not even hard to do. There's a player there that already gets how football should be played at a very, very good level. And I think, we've been chasing Ugarte for 2 years now, and we finally have him in year 2. They should have got him last summer. If they were interested last summer, they should have went and got him. Again, United used the PR, the financial fair play, and the PSR to not sign Ugarte. Ugarte, for me, has come in way too late. He is 23. He has got the age on his side, and I love that because we are targeting younger and hungrier players to build a team around to take this club on to the next level. But we still do need that experience. But signing Ugarte is a transition period of change that this football club is trying to go down a completely different direction to where this club has ever been in its lifetime. United knew they couldn't carry on with Casemiro, they couldn't carry on with Eriksen, they couldn't carry on with Hannibal Mabry, and they couldn't carry on with McTominay. And Fred was in that equation as well when Fred was here. They couldn't carry on with those 5 anymore. It was a big, big problem that was never going to get sorted. Amrabat isn't here, so we are a midfielder down now. I don't know why we didn't go back in for Amrabat. I mean, I'm gutted Amrabat's not here, by the way. I mean, he did so well for us last season, that FA Cup final. Why Amrabat was never brought back, I will never know. And Man United can use, we needed to get rid of Casemiro and Eriksen. It's absolute bullshit. You could have brought them in and then sold those 2 later on. But Man United, again, are using the amount of excuses that they think is feasible to come up with bullshit that does not exist at the common football club. Man United love the excuses, they love the PR, and they love the attention. They do it to get the PR and make the fans fall for the sympathy, and their little violin comes out. Man United needed another midfielder. I'm pleased we've got that in Ugarte. I'm happy. This is a world-class signing. I mean, I think Man United really have made 5 world-class signings this summer. And again, we have made actually 6 because we've brought that Kone in today as well. So we've actually signed 6 players this summer. But the rumours are this Kone isn't going to into the academy players. He's 18 years of age and is going to become part of the first team already. Which again, is that a sign of, we couldn't get you another midfielder, Eric. We didn't really want to pay for Amrabat. We know you wanted Frankie de Jong again. But we could still sign you as a midfielder, but it's going to be Rabiot. But we don't really want to give him the wage. We don't really want to give him a signing on fee. And we don't really want him here because we tried to sign for the last 2 seasons in a row and we failed on both occasions. I think we do need to sign Rabiot, by the way, because we are 1 injury away from that midfield going 10 times backwards again. Because if you think about it, people say, we've got more than Mount. We've got more than Casemiro and more than Eriksen. We actually don't. Because if anyone's got any knowledge about them at all, Mason Mount is out injured again. He is out injured for 5 fucking weeks. He's done his hamstring again. We have got an injury-prone player here. And we've had to go and buy midfielders because of the incompetence and the transfer dealings of the past have now fucked us up again. This is why we've had to sign Ugarte, because I think Ineos have realised Mason Mount ain't going to do it here. Casemiro, his time's coming now, and Eriksen isn't going to play. So we need Ugarte, and Ugarte demands to be starting every game. I don't want to see Eriksen in the first team shirt. I don't want to see Casemiro playing, and I don't want to see Mason Mount playing. And I do not want to see any false 9 bullshit against Liverpool on Sunday because that isn't going to work here. And I'm gutted because we could have done with Ugarte for Sunday. We really, really could. And I feel for the lad, really, because I think it's been handled badly by Manchester United. I think it's been badly handled by PSG. And I think both clubs have absolutely damaged his morale of making him wait this long. It should not have taken 2 months and 12 days to sign a fucking player. That is a joke. That's a disgrace. That is on both clubs for the way they have handled this transfer. PSG should have just said, you know what? We need to get this deal done quickly. And Man United have got to take some responsibility because they needed to move quicker. I feel in this transfer window, again, we have been so slow. I think we've been really, really slow. Because if Ugarte was here at the start of the season, we wouldn't have seen Casemiro against Brighton. We wouldn't have seen Casemiro against Fulham. And would be 3 points better off than where we are again. Last season's history is going to repeat itself. Because if we lose Sunday, we're 3 points from 9. We're going into a pathetic and pointless international break for 2 fucking weeks. 2 fucking weeks of international piss-ass football that no one wants to watch, no one wants to see. We've just had the fucking Euros, which England bottled again because they couldn't beat Spain. Spain were there for the taking and England bottled it under a complete fraud of a manager who's got no intelligence in management, has got no balls to drop big-name players when they ain't performing, and picks his favourites. And we can't see Ugarte till another 2 weeks. And they'll probably introduce him to the crowd at the weekend, which they'll probably do before the game or at halftime. I'm not sure how this is going to go, the unveiling, because do we do it before kickoff or do we do it at halftime where United are getting smacked? There's going to be 1 or 2 ways that's happened. I think it's really, to be fair, let's get him introduced before the game. Let him say hello to the fans and let them applaud him. Because this is the type of player that this club has been crying out for years. Why we didn't sign him the year PSG were after him, I never know. I had no clue why Manchester United never went after Ugarte when their interest was there. I don't know why he picked PSG, but I think the problem is he was at Sporting Lisbon. Again, Ronaldo, Nani, both played for Sporting Lisbon. And it's funny. Ugarte, Sporting Lisbon, Manchester United. I wonder if he had a chat with a few ex-United players. I wonder if he's had a conversation with ex-United legends about what it's like to go and play for Manchester United, or he's wanted to leave PSG. Because, it's taken 2 months and 12 days to get him here. And I think he'll be frustrated. I think he'll be a bit disappointed that he couldn't have been registered by this afternoon, by the 12 p.m. deadline to play on Sunday, because I think he would have wanted to get started straight away. And I think he would have wanted to make his presence be felt already. And he's unfortunately not going to be able to do that because Manchester United and PSG have absolutely screwed up that from happening because the deal has taken this long. And I think United, if they would have done the deal quicker, the position we'd have been in now would have been in 90. We'd have been 2 wins from 2. We'd have been in the top 4 by now. And we're already trailing our rivals again because we've wasted and pissed ass about trying to get players out and players in. And again, that ain't Ugarte's fault. There's nothing he could have done. But I think this signing speaks volume about the direction we're trying to go in. I mean, the smile on my face now says a lot about how I feel about this player because I've wanted this all summer. As soon as that interest was known, I thought, just get this deal done. Don't keep messing PSG about and don't keep putting in low-balling offers that they ain't going to accept. And again, we have paid 60 million euros. We have given PSG what they wanted. And I said, do that. I did say, just give PSG what they want and get that deal done. And that is exactly what United have done with De Ligt. They did it with Mazraoui, and they've now done it with Ugarte. They've gave in, and they have given in to the selling club's demand for the fees they want for those players. So Man United have come out in all summer and basically said, we're not going to give in to their demands. We are not going to give them what they want. But in the end, PSG quoted 60 million euros all summer, and you're giving them it. By Munich, you gave them what you gave them for De Ligt, and you did it for Mazraoui. So United have kind of lied to us as the fans again and the supporters, which is very wrong. They shouldn't have done that. They should have come out and said, we ain't going to be held to ransom and all this bullshit. It is another Glazers transfer window under Ineos, in my view. I think not enough has already been settled. Half this deadwood is still here, and the players we wanted aren't here either. Like, we haven't sold enough. We've not brought in enough. And I think one of the quotes that I agree with, and obviously Mark Goldbridge is a big, influence on me to start my own YouTube channel and to get United moving with another channel like this. He was right that it should have been 15 players being sold and 10 players being brought in. So we've basically done 6. And again, I don't think that's enough. I don't think Ugarte alone in the midfield is going to be enough. I mean, we've brought this Kone in from an unknown name from an unnamed club that I don't know who they are. And he's only 18 years of age. And with the rumours tonight that he's not going to be an academy player or an under-21 player, he's going to be jumping in straight into the first team. That frightens the shit out of me. It really, really does, because he is another CDM. I mean, is he going to be the backup for Ugarte, or is he going to have to take time to bed in and learn that CDM role while Ugarte and Casemiro will be playing a lot of first-team football, where this Kone, I don't think is going to even get a kick this season. I don't think this Kone will play a lot of football for Man United this season. I'm really, really struggling to see how this guy will be able to feature for Manchester United this season. I mean, it does frighten me that they say he's going to be part of the first team plans. I mean, I'm sorry, but it's good bringing in Ugarte and Kone. Kone is a completely unknown. We don't know how this is going to work. Is this signing going to work, or has this been brought in for pure profit so we could sell him on later on? Because if this signing doesn't work, say if Ugarte doesn't work and Kone don't work, and we let go of Casemiro, which did need to happen, and that's a failure on Manchester United again for a pathetic transfer window, which we are going to do an assessment tomorrow. I think I've had some time to think about, and massive shout out to my mate Josh, who said, I think you need to do an assessment of this transfer window and what's been good, what's been bad, and what's been, in your view, not very good enough to settle the needs of Manchester United moving forward as a football club. And then, do you know what? We will do an assessment tomorrow. I think it does need to be done. I think certain things do need to be called out. And I think the path and the speed and how slow we've been this summer, the efficiency hasn't been there. We have taken way too long on departures. We've taken way too long on big players being brought in. We didn't have a proper pre-season, and United have had to sacrifice points on the pitch to make late signings. That's my problem. But today is a celebration of we finally have the Manuel Ugarte go over the line. I think we can be happy, we can be satisfied, but again, that disappointment is there on Sunday where he won't be playing. And, you know, that midfield is crying out for his quality. That midfield is crying out for that ability that this midfield has been lacking for several fucking seasons. And I think if we would have had Ugarte last season with Casemiro, then McTominay would have been gone then as well. And Hannibal Mabry and Eriksen, they would have been sacrificed because they're not good enough. None of those players there are good enough to take us to the next level. How Eriksen and Casemiro have survived is an absolutely blinding one on me. I cannot believe those two are still here, where Man United should have laid down the law, not take any excuses, not take any bullshit, and laid down the law and said, you're going no matter what. If we have to sell you at a loss, we will do it. But Man United couldn't find buyers because they are on ridiculous wages. That's the big problem. That's why both players are still here. I've got a lot of respect for Casemiro for what he's done in his career. He's a legend of the game. I respect what Eriksen went through at the Euros when we saw that horrific moment with him. And his comeback, he's won 2 trophies where he won fuck all at Spurs. He did well at Inter Milan, but then obviously he had to get released because what happened at the Euros when he had that cardiac arrest. But again, I think that's been a disaster of a signing because in season 1, he was magnificent for us, Eriksen. But remember that Andy Carroll tackle and he got that really bad injury. Eriksen's fallen off a cliff. And again, I think the Premier League is starting to catch up with both players and they've both survived. It's like playing Fortnite where you've got a 4-on-1 situation, squads, and the one player who's on his own is facing 4 other players to eliminate them. And that one player all of a sudden manages to knock all 4 players, eliminate them, and get the victory royale that he needs. It's not acceptable for Man United to keep players like this that are going to hold us back. And I think Ugarte, is going to realise quite quickly who the problem here is in the midfield. And I think it sends a strong message to the other 3. I think it really sends a strong message that I'm here to cement my place in that midfield. If you 3 think you're getting back here and you're going to be getting game time, you've got no chance while I'm here. Ugarte's here to make a statement. He's here to say, I'm here as the midfielder that is going to be in front of all three of you. I'm going to be in that CDM role, keeping that back four protected. And I bet Ugarte has watched several United games this season. I think he probably would watch the Community Shield and the 2 league games so far. And I think he would have identified the problems that Man United have had already this season, that the midfield has been that big problem. And that is because 3 players have let us down. Well, McTominay has to go in that equation as well, because he shouldn't have played against Fulham and he should not have played against Brighton. He's no longer here, and I'm glad he isn't. And again, in my view, I wish him the best, but he was never going to be good enough. But, we've got Ugarte, who is 10 times the player that I think anyone feels he is. Like, I don't think people realise how good Ugarte is actually going to be. He's going to be that player that is going to take Man United on a completely new direction, a completely brand new level. And I think he's going to take us to where we want to be. A team that keeps a lot more clean sheets, who keeps that back four a lot more protected than what Casemiro can do, because he can't do it anymore. Eriksen can't do it. I mean, remember when Eriksen used to be put in that CDM role and it didn't work and Casemiro was the same? It's because they've both been figured out. Their games are no longer at the level that's required in the Premier League and the pace that the game's now at. The game is catching up with those players, and the game is catching up, and those players can't do the job that no one wants to do. And I think Ugarte sends a strong message that I'm going to be the beast this midfield's crying out for. I'm going to be the player that is going to help Man United get even more success on the pitch. And I'm excited to see what he can do. I can't wait to see him pull on that United shirt. Already by his statement, that says a lot about his attitude. It says a lot about his commitment. And it says a lot about his desire. Like, we've got a player here that actually gives a shit. There's a player here that the club was desperately needing for. And, I think for me, this wasn't a Ten Hag signing. This was an Ineos signing. I think Ineos realised, well, if we can't get rid of Eriksen, we can't get rid of Casemiro, the only sellable assets in that midfield are Hannibal Mabry and Scott McTominay. They were the only 2. And Ten Hag came out in his press conference this afternoon saying he's not happy that Scott McTominay's gone and he would have kept him. I don't know what's going on with Ten Hag, but I am not liking the vibe that he doesn't like it. Scott McTominay's been sold. If I was Eric Ten Hag, I would start realising very, very quickly, Eric, that McTominay had to go. He wasn't the player that we needed to improve the midfield balance, and he wasn't the player that was ever going to improve. What is McTominay for? Because you didn't use him in that Community Shield. You brought him on off the bench. You did it the same for Fulham, and you did it for Brighton. That message of putting him on the bench for those 3 games in a row said a lot to Ineos. It said a lot to the board, and it said a lot to Sir Jim Ratcliffe that you're not using him. He's offering nothing going forward for us. He's a sellable asset, and if we want Ugarte, he's going. And if you don't like it, at the end of the day, we've given you a job here. You're still manager in this club. You should be lucky and grateful that you're still employed. Because Eric Ten Hag is very, very lucky he is still Manchester United's manager. Because if Eric Ten Hag is going to start showing resistance and he's going to start disagreeing with decisions that are being made by him specifically and Ineos, eventually that relationship's going to crack, and either Ineos sack Ten Hag or Ten Hag resigns. If Ten Hag does not like it that McTominay's gone, get fucking over it, Eric. Like, seriously, that Fred combination with Fred and McTominay was dead in the woods. It was in the weeds. It was getting found out then. It got found out last season with McTominay, with Fred no longer here, and it got found out after 3 games. McTominay was the sacrificial lamb. He had to go to make this midfield better by having a player of the quality that Ugarte has got. Ugarte already gives you a strong impression that he ain't gonna mess about here. He wants to give his all for the shirt. He cares about the fans and the support and the love that he sees from them. That says a lot about him already. That says to me that this player is going to be a massive fan favourite, and a player that is going to bring everyone and unite that midfield together. And I think that's what he's going to do. I really, really think that is what Ugarte is here to do. I think he's here to make this midfield look better than weaker. And I'm kind of hoping it does work for him, because He's a player with great, extraordinary talent that is really, really ready. I think Ugarte is ready to hit the ground running, and I'm really, really pleased that he is here. I'm absolutely over the moon. I'm thrilled. I'm delighted he's a Man United player because this is what we needed. This is the player we needed to bring in, and this is a player that is going to take this club onto a completely different level than we've ever seen in the past. Because this is a midfielder that I think cares. There's a midfielder who wants to make things happen on the pitch. There's a midfielder there that wants to make Manchester United even more successful on the pitch again. I mean, we've had an up and down 2 seasons. We've won 2 trophies 2 years in a row under Ten Hag. And I think eventually someone has had to be sacrificed. And I think Ineos have taken a decision over Ten Hag. I think Ineos have had to make the decision without Ten Hag's knowing. I think Ineos have had to realise, well, at the end of the day, what are we going to do? Because if we want Ugarte, someone's going to have to go here. And if we don't do it, we are going to look like right idiots. And the fans are going to get really, really onto us if we don't turn things around. And if that midfield creates even more problems in the next 2 results, the fans are going to be on us every day. Because I think Ineos would have seen the fan gestures. I think they would have seen the fans wanting Ugarte on social, because United do interact. United know what happens on social media. United do look at fans' views and fans' comments on social media platforms, and they realise, do you know what? At the end of the day, we need to get this deal done. Because if we don't, we are going to be left really blue in the face, because the midfield has been a big problem. And I think Ineos would have probably realised, fucking hell, they've got McTominay, Casemiro, Eriksen, Hannibal Mabry and Mount. That doesn't scream quality, does it, if you're being really honest? The only one really that screams quality who has fallen off a cliff is Casemiro. He's the only one that screams any type of quality for Manchester United. He's the only one that does it, because at the end of the day, Casemiro has done it at the top. He's won things, big trophies and big titles. And they probably look at Eriksen, what the hell's happened since that injury? They look at Hannibal Mabry, surplus to requirements, should have been gone years ago. Scott McTominay should have been sold when Fred went. That's what should have happened. And I think they've had to, Ugarte is the signing that they said they've been chasing all summer. And you can tell by the reaction that they're very pleased that this is finally done, because this saga's taken way too long. Like, I wanted Ugarte in quicker than this. I can't believe we've had to wait till deadline day. If someone would have said on Tuesday when the deal was agreed, we got that here we go from Romano. If someone would have said, we have got to wait till deadline day to get this deal done and signed, and he's officially the player, I would have said, not a chance. We could have got it done on Wednesday, or we could have got it done on Thursday. It should not have taken that long to announce a new player. I mean, 2 months is ridiculous. Ugarte could have had an impact in both of our league games, and he's not been able to put that stamp of authority on the performances because he's not seen how the team transitions. He doesn't see how this team plays. And again, like I said, he's probably watched a few of the games and seen based on what he's watched where the problems are in that midfield. And he's probably thinking, well, if they can't do that, I can do it. If they can't do this, I can do that. Like, he's probably spotted quite quickly where the big problems are. And he realises the players who they are. He realises that, you know what, bloody hell, Man United have got an absolute handful in that midfield. That midfield is nothing what I've witnessed and nothing what I've watched so far convinces me that midfield is going to be any quality. And I think I can put my stamp on that and bring complete calmness, sophistication and dedication in that CDM role. That CDM role we thought was solved under Casemiro. But again, season 2, last season, he was terrible. Season 3, he's got even worse. And I can't believe the decline of Casemiro. I can't believe it. Like, I can't believe how fallen off he's gone. Like, it's a shocking revelation that this does need to be looked into. Why the hell has Casemiro fallen off a cliff? Why has Casemiro not been the same player he was under season 1? Because he was good in season 1. He was great in season 1. But why now, all of a sudden, is it gone from here to down here? He's absolutely fallen off a cliff here, and I don't get why. And I think, Once Casemiro and Eriksen and Mount are at that team, all three of them are going to be benched. I don't think anyone realises the lack of game time those three are going to get. They might be playing the odd Carabao Cup and FA Cup game, but again, I'm still starting Ugarte ahead of you three, because if you don't start Ugarte, the midfield gets absolutely walked over. And we've seen that from 3 games already. That midfield gets absolutely walked through because of Casemiro, Eriksen, and Mount. Bruno isn't comfortable in the false 9. He needs to go back into that midfield 3. So, United have had to get Ugarte to help this midfield better, and they know by the quality he can produce. They know what he did for PSG. I mean, that stat, he had more tackles and more interceptions in 90 minutes than any other player in Ligue 1 last season. I mean, why have PSG let him go? Because he was playing so much for them. And now it's like, don't want you now. We've got better than you. I mean, I know João Neves had a great start to his PSG career, but imagine if João Neves gets a bad injury or is out for a number of weeks, or, he's out for a number of months. Imagine where the midfield, the CDM options come in then. Imagine where that CDM role is going to come. They won't have it. PSG have absolutely lost a baller here. They have lost a world-class player to a rival. They should not have let happen. And if I was PSG's board and owners, I'd thinking, why the fuck have we sanctioned this? Because we've lost 2 midfielders today. Where's the backups coming from? There ain't going to be any backups because they've got no backup CDM. PSG have let their their best midfielder from last season walk out the door after a year at the club. That should not be happening from a club of PSG, who, again, are the French champions for a reason. They play in a pub league that no one else can compete in. They buy the best players. They have the best manager. They have the best squad. They have the best owners. They're an oil club. But to kick a player out after 1 year of being there, what a lack of respect. And if I was a PSG fan, I would be absolutely rioting that Ugarte's gone, because it sends a strong statement that PSG aren't afraid to get rid of players that they don't want, but actually offer quality going forward. And I think the quality PSG are going to miss is going to be Manchester United's game. And I don't think PSG will realise they're going to be left red in the face when this signing makes Man United's midfield world class again, because he's got the ability to do it. He's got the dedication to do it. And he says he's going to fight for his teammates. He's going to fight for everything on and off the pitch. That sends a lot about a player already, that look how much he wanted this move. Look how much he really, really wanted to come here. And Man United have still got that pull. We've still got that pull ability to bring players in that we need and get that player that we need to make things better going forward for us in the future. And that's what Ugarte offers. Quality, dedication, passion and commitment. He is going to take his midfield onto another level now. And I'm thinking, if I was Eriksen, if I was Mount, and I was Casemiro, start looking for a move, lads, because you're not going to be playing. Well, Mount won't be playing because he's injured again. Eriksen and Casemiro's days are over. How are they going to get back in this team? Imagine if they don't get selected for a Carabao Cup game or for an FA Cup game. What if they don't get picked? It will be Ugarte. Their careers are over. Their careers as Man United players are over because they're not now going to be able to do it. They won't be able to offer that level. This is why they don't get picked for a league game. This is why they don't get picked for Community Shield. It sends a strong message that the Ineos have got fed up with them. And I think, we might shift them in January, but I still think another midfielder needs to come in. I think the loan deal with an obligation to buy that we've got for Sancho, because Sancho's gone to Chelsea, and I don't wish him the best. He's an absolute snake. He reminds me of Pogba. He reminds me of Di Maria. I am glad that bag of shit is gone from this club, because the disrespect he has shown to the fans and supporters by going back to Dortmund, saying he's home and kissing the badge, and now he's fucked off to one of our rivals. Sancho was a snake. Absolute snake. I don't wish him the best. I hope he fails at Chelsea, and I hope that Chelsea realise the problems they're going to get with Sancho on and off the pitch, because they've made a bad mistake. They picked Sancho over Osimhen. Chelsea were meant to sign a striker today. Where's your striker now, Chelsea? You're stuck with Nicholas Jackson. I would rather have Michael Jackson up front than Nicholas Jackson. And you didn't get Osimhen. You didn't get Tony. Chelsea are officially in the mud because they've taken a big problem for Man United, who is going to become a big problem for them. Because if Sancho starts creating problems and starts throwing his toys out the crowd like he always has been, he won't last long at Chelsea. And the problem is they have an obligation to buy him. That's their problem now, and they've got to buy him. Unfucking lucky. That is a big win for us. That snake's gone, but Chelsea have to buy him when that loan deal expires because there's an obligation in that contract to do it. Unfucking lucky. Unlucky. But that will be talked more on tomorrow's assessment. But today is the day that we finally have Ugarte. He's a Man United player. He'll be playing for Man United this season. Goodbye Casemiro, goodbye Eriksen, and goodbye Mount, because you're not playing anymore. So please hit the like button and the share button. Please subscribe to the channel, United Red Devils 20. Share the video, hit the tweet button, hit the retweet button. Remember to always remember notification bell. Put that bell on all times so you receive dedicated and upcoming brand new content planned for the rest of this year in 2024. Got brand new videos, brand new shorts, brand new live streams planned for this year. I want to get all of you more involved in the live content as well. We're going to be doing the new EAFC 25, the new GTA 6, when they eventually do the new Ratchet and Clank game, the new Spyro game, and much more brand new stuff. And obviously, hit the like button for Ugarte because this is a celebration. Ugarte's a Man United player. Look at that smile on my face. That CDM role is going to become the role of a lifetime, having a quality player like Ugarte who kicks out Eriksen, who kicks out Casemiro, who kicks out Mount out of this team. Manuel Ugarte is officially a Man United player. Welcome to Manchester United Football Club. Welcome to the Manchester United family. Manuel Ugarte.